I probably look like crap. I wanted to talk about something, and if you're looking at the title, then you probably know what it's going to be about. Kiki, are you awake? I don't know if you can see her back there, but she's having trouble getting out of the blanket. Don't dislike the video just yet, and don't assume things just yet. Obviously, Nintendo's in the title up there, but I have another thing real quick before I get into the video, a few announcements. I haven't really done videos lately because I've been busy. Since getting back from Georgia, I've been doing pretty much one thing and one thing only aside from living, and that is hunting a job. And I have a new job opportunity. I'm going to start Monday. I am going to begin my CNA training, CNA being a certified nursing assistant. And I'm going to begin my training in my classes, which they're paying for the classes and they're paying me to take the classes. I'll start off at minimum wage doing these classes, and I'll do them for I think a few weeks, and then I will take their tests, I think a written test, a competency test, and things like that. When I pass the tests, I can start out at $9 an hour actually working as a certified nursing assistant. So those of you that believe in a deity, do a little prayer to Cthulhu for me that I'll be able to accomplish these goals and not just work towards another job, but also towards another career. Anywho, that's what I've been so fucking busy with. So the lack of content, I understand people always think, well, Brett's just being lazy. Well, no, I'm actually been busy. And Kiki, I know you just woke up, but are you seriously going to eat food while I'm doing a video? Are you ignoring me? You're ignoring me. Anywho, I wanted to talk about Nintendo real quick because Nintendo has had rumors swirling around the NX for months. And I saw some stuff. I don't know what's confirmed yet, but there's been all types of talks about whether the NX is a console, whether it's a handheld, whether it's a hybrid of the two. And I think it was confirmed that the NX is some sort of handheld that can also be used as a console. I believe it does use cartridges, and it has, you know, controllers that I think can be plugged into it, and it can be plugged into a TV, and it can work like that. Again, I didn't want you to just instantly dislike the video or assume things, but let's be honest. Do you think this is a good idea? Are you completely behind Nintendo doing this? I mean, people think I hate Nintendo, but since I got my new setup in my new room, I've been playing, you know, Nintendo games. I've got, can you see these? I've got fucking Nintendo games right here. I've got a Wii sitting over here, you know. I still have my Wii. I still like the Wii because it's got some pretty great games on it, including Xenoblade Chronicles X. Or not Xenoblade Chronicles X. Xenoblade Chronicles. X is on the Wii U, which I still have a copy of X. Yes, I have added a Wii U to my wish list and some Wii U games, and I do intend to get another Wii U in the future. I'm going to look and see if Replays ever has a used one before I go buying a brand new one again for fucking $300. When it comes down to it, though, I like Nintendo. I like their games. I like the products that they put out. The games are what are important to me, not this gimmicky fucking shit with their hardware. I like their software. I do not like their hardware. I remember people arguing one time about the hardware and software between Microsoft and Sony. I remember people saying, oh, the Sony's so powerful and it's so good and so great, and the 360's a piece of shit that red rings all the time. I've had the exact opposite experience. I'm on my third PS3, and the Xboxes I've had relatively good experiences with. I've had one red ring on me, and since I got the newer models, the S models, I've never had a single problem out of any of them. But when it comes down to Nintendo and the NX, I think this is the final nail in the coffin. I think one of two things are going to happen. Either Nintendo is going to go portable only, it's going to focus more on a handheld market and deviate away from consoles, or it could be a detrimental effect on them, and maybe, just maybe, they'll go the way of Sega. That's not me saying that I want Nintendo to go away. I don't want to lose titles like Zelda and Metroid and all that. People assume, you know, just because I dislike Nintendo that maybe I don't like the games. I do like the games. I don't like the fucking stupid Japanese men that are in charge of this corporation that keep making stupid decisions and, in my opinion, hurting the industry, hurting development of good games. I don't want you to focus on gimmicks. If you've seen, if you watch The Game Theorist, you've seen Matt Pat's video with Reggie, and watching that video made me sick to my stomach because, you know, he brings up all these good arguments about you know, motion controls and gimmicks and stuff, and Reggie's like, oh, but this is for other people. No, it shouldn't be for other people. And I'm not saying I don't want people to get into gaming, but if you can't figure out a controller, you're a fucking idiot. Exactly what about this is difficult? Actually, that's an unfair assertion. Let's go with this. Pretend... Oh, I'm sorry, Nunchuck. Pretend this is a regular style controller. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8 buttons on this fucking thing. Well, I guess if you wanted to count all the D-pad, but it's one big fucking button. If you can't figure this out, if you're too stupid to figure out what is basically an NES or SNES controller, then why the fuck are you messing with games? I want new people to get into this. I want people to be able to enjoy this. But if you can't figure out a controller, why mess with it? It's like, I have interest in all kinds of things, but if I don't comprehend something, I can appreciate it, but I don't involve myself in it. For instance, I like music. Can't sing for shit, can't play an instrument, but I like music. But you're not going to see me going, can we change things so that I can get into the music industry? No, that's not going to happen, all right? I have an appreciation for science. I have an appreciation for architecture, but I don't comprehend some of it, so I don't involve myself in it. We're going to do a jump cut. What sickens me about the way Nintendo handles their consoles is it seems like they don't ever want to go with the norm. And people always see that as some sort of virtue. Like, Nintendo's not supposed to be like the other two consoles. It's something that's different. It's not different. They're fucking video games. You're supposed to play them and enjoy them. And when it comes down to it, you know, we had the NES, the SNES, the N64, which all are great consoles. Cartridge-based games don't bother me at all. But with the Gamecube, I love the Gamecube. I like this fucking thing. I think that the Gamecube is a very good little system. I enjoy the Gamecube. But let's be honest, when it comes down to the Gamecube, it had tiny fucking discs. That was the gimmick with the Gamecube. It had tiny little discs. Do you know what the problem was with those tiny little discs? When you take a regular disc, which I don't have one in here, but when you take a regular disc, let's say it wasn't a Blu-ray disc, it was old, DVD discs. Take a regular disc, you have a certain amount of space on there. If I'm correct, which I'm probably not, old DVD discs had about, I think, 8 gigs of space. That's why you see a lot of 360 games that have multiple discs, whereas PS3s almost consistently had one. If you buy Final Fantasy 13 for PS3, you get 1 disc. You buy Final Fantasy 13 for 360, I think you get 3 discs. Different in space. How much gig space do you think was on one of these itty bitty discs? Because I can tell you right now, it certainly wasn't 8 gigs. A lot of GameCube games come with multiple discs, and that's because these things were fucking tiny. Their storage space was different, and the method by which I'm sure developers had to work with these discs was a problem. When you're dealing with smaller storage space, you have to deal with a lot of other things. Level design, game prowess, graphics, all these things are compressed when you're dealing with smaller discs. That was the gimmick of the GameCube. I like the GameCube. I really do. But it had problems as well. With the Wii, they went to normal-sized discs. Hey, that's fantastic, that's great. But they focused too hard on a motion control gimmick that a lot of gamers don't care about. The reason the Wii sold so well is not because of gamers. It sold so well because it was a gimmicky toy, and people saw this and thought, hey, that'll be fun. I'll play some golf, I'll play some tennis, I'll waggle, and I'll flick, and I'll fling. And what happened? What happened? We had a whole generation where people thought the Wii was some sort of superstar when it was actually an overbloated fucking child's toy. I don't mind, people wanting to enjoy something, but if you're going to enjoy something, can you enjoy a legit fucking game instead of this fucking bullshit? And don't get me wrong, again, the Wii has fantastic games. Right here is one such example, Xenoblade Chronicles. I love this game. I bought a Wii because I wanted to play this game. I bought a Wii U because I wanted to play the sequel. When it comes down to it, the people assumed, oh, the Wii is selling great. It's selling like hotcakes. It's doing better than the 360 and the PS3. In actuality, it wasn't. Sure, it sold well, but how many of them were actually, purchasing these games? How many of them, instead of just playing the default shit that came with it and waggling, how many of them went out and purchased and supported stellar games like Xenoblade, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Yoshi's Woolly World. How many of them went out and purchased these games? A lot of people, a lot of casual people, bought the Wii U because they're tech junkies. I have said this for years. Tech junkies are what are ruining the game industry. People that don't care about gaming, they care about technology. They care about the new fancy toy they can play with. These people make me sick. They're the same fucktards that were like, oh, 3D gaming is the next big thing, and it fell apart. Motion gaming is the next big thing. Fucking Sony and Microsoft both tried it, and both of them failed. And now we have virtual reality, the next big thing in gaming, which is again a gimmicky fucking mess that's overpriced for one, and the games are fucking subpar. Now you give me a game like Halo or Fear or some first person game, give me Call of Cthulhu or give me Alien Isolation. Give me a game that I can move around in, not just stuck in one spot, a game I can move around in and explore. Maybe it's worth it, but I don't think it is. I have a little bit of time left on this one. I think that, virtual reality gaming is another stupid gimmick, much like the Wii. And when Nintendo released the Wii U, there were two huge problems. Number one, the Wii U is a horrible fucking name. There are people that still think that the Wii U is some sort of an add-on for the Wii. They don't understand that it's a completely new console. I experienced this firsthand when I was working at Gas and Regional. When I was there, I was talking to my friend, and I explained that I had bought the Wii U, and he's like, "Oh, for the Wii?" I'm like, "No, it's a console." Yeah, it's something for the Wii, right? No, it's a whole new console. It's a console and a controller and all the new shit. And he's like, "Oh, I didn't even know it was. I thought it was something for the Wii." That is a huge marketing blunder. Not to mention the fact that there wasn't a lot of advertisements for the Wii U. I mean, the Wii had total control over advertisements. I remember those little Japanese men, "We would like to play." That was a great freaking advertising market. But with the Wii U, I never saw a single thing. It just flew under the fucking radar. Nintendo, you fucked up on advertising the Wii U. Bad. The other huge problem with the Wii U, of course, is that it's not very good. It focuses too hard on another gimmick, the tablet, which I don't have a Wii U anymore, so I cannot adequately describe the tablet to you. I did talk about it. I did review it. I thought it was cheaply made, but it was okay in its design. It's not a horrible thing, but when I play a game, I want to play with a controller. I want to play like this. The tablet was at least like this, and that was uncomfortable right from the get-go. Not to mention the number of games where I would have to take my eyes off the screen, and I would have to focus on this thing in my hand. The less I think about the hunk of plastic in my hand, the more I can immerse myself in a video game. We all know this. We all know a time in our lives where we would see a button prompt on the screen and look down at the controller and realize, oh, it's that button. But now most of us know what the buttons are. We don't have to look. We know what to reload with. We know what to swap our weapons with. We know what to dodge with. We know what to aim with. We know what to sprint with. We don't have to look down at our hands. And that allows us to become more immersed in the experience. Let's do a jump cut. With Nintendo, it's been very consistent that when I'm playing their games, I on the Wii U at least, I have to look down to see what I'm doing. With all these other controllers, I don't have to look down. Now, the PS4 does fuck me up sometimes because I have to look down to realize where the options button is, because I already talked about the PS4 and how badly placed these two buttons are. But with the Wii U, I would always be playing and it'd be like, look at your gamepad. Why? I have a television. I paid money for a television. Can I play on the television? No. Every single time, look down at your gamepad and tap or swipe or do this or do that, and I'm like, fuck. And I appreciate that the PS4 doesn't make me do that. I can imagine them having all kinds of stuff with this touchpad, but let's be honest, they don't fucking use this touchpad. There are a few games that use this touchpad, but most of them don't. You know what I use the touchpad for in Uncharted 4? I open my journal with it. That's about it, I think. I just open the journal with it. With a game like Zombie U, which I had on the Wii U, and I fucking hated it. I hated it because, number one, it looked like shit. There was no game on the Wii U that was as graphically impressive as anything on the PS3 or the Xbox 360. There just isn't. Now, people will be like, but well, Mario Kart looks great. Mario Kart is cartoony as fuck. And I don't have anything against cartoony games or games that are kid-friendly or anything like that. But the thing Nintendo needs to understand is the kids that grew up with the NES, the SNES, the N64, the Gamecube, we're adults now. Give us more substantial content. I'm not asking for blood and gore or titties and cursing. I'm asking for substantial content. I want something that's on the pedigree of fucking Lord of the Rings or older Harry Potter. Something that's more substantial for an adult palate. I don't need blood and gore. You can give me crime drama, you can give me simulators, you can give me military FPS, you can give me horror experiences that don't have a ton of blood and gore. Again, I don't need the blood and gore. I don't need violence. I just need something that's more mature. I want something that's going to stimulate my brain in a way that bright, flashy colors can't. Where was I before I went off on that tangent? Zombie U looked like shit on the Wii U. And it had that damn shit where it's like, look at the gamepad. Well, I downloaded Zombie U on the Zombie on the PS4, and I started playing it with just a regular controller. And do you know what? Well, it's still shit because it's not a very good game to begin with, but it was immediately more immersive and more enjoyable because number one, I would do this when I play on the Wii U. I plug the headphones in, which I liked that feature on the Wii U. That was the first time I could plug headphones in and hear the game and get a surround sound experience. Good job on the Wii U with that. But I would plug my headphones into this PS4 controller and I would just play. And it'd give me a prompt like, you know, tap X to break this barricade. And normally I would you know, on the PS4 I tap X, but on the Wii U I'd have to tap the touch screen. This is not fun. This is fun. I would go to access somebody's inventory. There's a dead body. I go to access the inventory. Instead of looking down at my gamepad, I would just look at my TV and a menu would pop up. How fucking difficult was that? How fucking difficult was that to program? They could have done that. They could have done a mode of Zombie U that didn't have all the gimmicks and I could play Zombie U with a normal fucking controller. That would have been fantastic. I would have had more fun with it then. But no, I will say, Zombie sucks. Zombie is not a good game. Do not buy Zombie. But if you want to play the definitive version of it, Xbox One, PS4, use a regular controller. That is the huge issue I have with Nintendo. They emphasize so much these days gimmicks over gameplay. And that's what I try to explain to the fucking fanboys. The fanboys get mad at me because they're like, oh, he hates Nintendo. I don't fucking hate Nintendo. If I hated Nintendo, I wouldn't have this, would I? I hate their gimmicks. I hate their lack of care and interest in gameplay. I don't want to fucking waggle or tap a fucking screen. I want to push buttons. That's why I like playing video games. I get to push buttons and things happen on my TV screen. It's fantastic. I love it. But I wonder if I should cut out every single one of those. I probably won't. But the NX. The NX is another instance of Nintendo doing something that may or may not be gimmicky. I liked the idea. This was my idea for the NX. You want me to go through my idea for the NX? I'm going to do a jump cut before I go through my idea for the NX. Let's talk about the NX. If I were going to make the NX, first and foremost, console, controller. When you go to buy the NX produced by Brett Hicks, you buy a console and a controller, whether it's disc or cartridge based, whichever one you're comfortable with. In fact, if I had it my way, it would be cartridge based, and the cartridges would be massive. Like, you do realize the storage space that you can put these days and stuff. Like, for instance, I've got, let me show you. Where is it? I have 2 flash drives. This one right here is 16 gigs. It says on the back, 16 gigs. And something scratched it. This one right here, 64 4 gigs. I've seen SD cards, like not even SD cards, mini SD cards that were 64 gigs. You could put a lot of fucking storage space these days. So first and foremost, my NX would be cartridge based, and the cartridges would be the same size as 3DS cartridges. And they would be huge. They have huge storage space. You'd have massive, amazing games like Zelda, Breath of the Wild, all that shit. But you buy a console and a controller. You set your console on your entertainment center, you plug it into your fucking TV, you connect it to your internet, you put your profile on it, and of course your profile does matter, and you would have accolades. We've got achievements, we got trophies. While you're playing Nintendo games, you get accolades. Alright, I'm already sounding good to some of you, I'm sure. But you have your controller. Your controller is just as robust and just as renowned and just as fantastic as the Xbox One and the PS4 controller. I liked the Pro controller for the Wii U. The only thing that I would add to the Pro controller for the Wii U is probably the headphone jack. That's the only thing that it really needed, a headphone jack, and it would be perfect. You wouldn't even need to redesign it. You just ship it with the NX. Anywho. Cartridge-based, controller, console. Here's where the fun part would come in with the NX. You could go out and you could purchase for, I'd say, $200. Price of a 3DS. You could purchase the NX Plus. What is this? It's basically another handheld like the 3DS, or I could just make it fucking backwards compatible with the 3DS. It's a handheld like the 3DS, but it's compatible with the NX, and here's what you could do. Here's what my gimmick would be. You can sit at home and you can play your games on your NX, on your TV, all day long. You're fine. Then, if you wanted to go somewhere, you had like something to do. You have to go to a doctor's appointment. You're going to sit in a fucking doctor's office for a few hours. You take your NX and you take your NX Plus and you tell your NX, transfer game to NX Plus. Alright, you can hook a cable up, or maybe it can be done wireless via your internet, and you will basically take your save data and a copy of that game that is linked to your account, so nobody can pirate or steal. It's your version of the game linked to your account. You download it to your NX Plus, which would have huge storage space. Again, I want huge storage space. I'm talking the NX would have, let's say, 2 terabytes right out the gate, and the NX Plus would have 500 gigabytes or a terabyte of space right out the gate. Take your copy of your game, you put it on your NX Plus, and you fucking go with it. You have your save data, you can start right from where you left off, you can play your game some more. When you go to the doctor's office, you sit there and you play your fucking game. When you get done with all your errands and you come back home, you say transfer save data back, overwrite, and you can start back where you were fucking playing at the doctor's office, on your NX, on your TV, and you can continue playing your game. Tell me right now, people, does that sound fucking fantastic? Because that would be my kind of gimmick. No bullshit that invades your ability to play the game. No waggling, no touchpad, nothing. You just play the fucking game. Uninterrupted. Now, some people will be like, well, how much would the NX be? I would say the NX, if I were producing it, release at $300. And of course, the NX Plus would be $200, $500. That is around the same price that, you know, the Xbox One and the PS4 kind of came out at. It's expensive, yes, but again, it's an optional thing. You don't have to pay an extra $100 for a gamepad. You don't have to pay an extra $1 for a fucking Kinect. You just pay for your console, and should you desire to be able to play these AAA console games on the go, you can go buy the NX Plus. That would be my gimmick. That would be my gimmick. But the NX as it is right now sounds like it's going to be some sort of handheld that can plug into your TV. It sounds like a plug and play to me. And I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if that's... how powerful is this thing going to be? How adequate is this thing going to be? I just recently, you know, I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I'm going to be getting a job, and I want to buy a new 3DS. I've got a new 3DS, I've got an armor case, I've got a carrying pouch. I've got all these things on my wish list that I want to get. I don't know if I want to get the NX. I might not worry about the NX. I might buy another Wii U and get a copy of Breath of the Wild for the Wii U and play it on there, just for the fact that I don't know what's going on with the NX. We haven't even seen this thing yet, and fanboys are going, oh, fuck, it's the NX, it's the greatest thing ever. It kills me. When it comes down to it, I don't hate Nintendo. I don't hate Nintendo. I hate their fucking gimmicky hardware. If you can't understand that, if you can't see that this video has been relatively respectful, let's be honest, this video has been really nice to Nintendo. If you can't see that, then get the fuck off my channel. Don't ever come back. When I get so tired of people, oh, you just hate Nintendo. I don't hate Nintendo. I hate their gimmicky bullshit. I want Nintendo to make a great console again, like the SNES. I want them to make great games for that great console. And I want to sit here and I want to play on a controller. And I want to sit here like I'm fucking 12 again. That's what I want. But when it comes down to it, I don't think that's going to happen because these days Nintendo cares more about gimmicks than gameplay. They're a fucking toy company. Do you not realize that? And yes, I refer to all these things as toys, all my little toys and accessories. But when it comes down to it, I don't like this. So, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you got something out of it. If you didn't, well, I'm sorry. But wish me luck in my new job endeavors, and I will get back to start making videos as soon as I can. But I'm disappointed with Nintendo. What else is new? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to dislike the video to show your support, and do take care.